fifth position. On the sixth string, you're going to go A, B, and C. 5th fret, 7th, and 8th. Now here, you're going to shift to the 5th string, and you're going to go D and E. D and E. Now here you're going to back finger, or shift back a fret, meaning you're going to go to 4th position. Now the scale gets a little bit easier, believe it or not. However, that move, at first for students who aren't used to it, can be a little tricky. Not in the shifting so much, but in the fingering. We're going to move here in the 4th position on string 4 and in the key of A minor, Dorian, which I'll call it for the purpose of clarity. We're going to go to F sharp, which is on your 4th string, 4th fret. And we're going to have a symmetrical fingering for the next 2 strings, which is 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. We have F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. Okay, so far in the scale, you've got A, B, C, D, E, a shift back for F sharp, G, A, and then B, C, D. Now, what makes the Dorian scale Dorian is the F sharp. When we start improvising with it, and when I start showing you little patterns, you're going to see that at first that F sharp may sound a little funny, and then you'll get used to it, and then if you hit an F natural, that's the note that's really going to sound funny. So now we have our pattern going up to string 3. Now we're going to shift to string 2, and we're going to have a fingering that's 1, 3, 4. It's going to be symmetrical now, but we're going to shift back to 5th position. We're going to go 1, 3, 4, which is E, F sharp, and G. Then we're going to go to the 1st string and go A, B, and C again. Okay, so now you've got a better idea of how you play this scale. You can see that you've got a pretty big advantage once you get up to string 4. You've got this, symmetrical, and then shifting up to 5th position on the 2nd string. You've got a really nice set of 12 notes. You could probably camp out up here for a long time and improvise freely and come up with some nice sounds. Of course, you wouldn't do that because you want to move. You want to get to the point where you can solo fluidly all over the page. So, moving up to the top of the scale, let's start at the bottom over an A minor tonality. This is A minor 7. I would probably caution you against using this scale over A minor. Now, there's not a lot of difference, right? There's only one note difference between the 2 chords. However, A minor 7 is really probably the chord you're going to run into with Dorian because it tends to be that funkier, jazzier, leading to the D9. Those 2 chords are closely related. There are 2 5. We'll get into much more detail on 2 5s as we move through this series. So let's run the whole scale forward, keeping that A minor 7 chord in our ears as we play. Notice my muting. I mute all the time. I talk to students about this endlessly because typically students aren't as familiar or confident with muting. You must mute. Clean sounds, dirty sounds, doesn't matter. If you don't mute your strings as you play, you're going to get some very unwanted sounds. So, in terms of muting, I use both hands. As I'm going up, my right hand is close to the strings. And if I have to stop, I can catch it. I call it clipping. My students know when I say clip, they know exactly what I mean. When I use my left hand, it's usually when I get to the top. Let's say I do that, I play. I immediately can bring my fingers down onto the fretboard and cut off the sound of any other strings that may ring. So, keeping muting in mind, and we'll probably have to go over that more in detail, not worry about it as much now, I just want you to get the fingerings down. So let's go over the scale again. Now we do our shift. Now it gets more comfortable. Just have to remember the shift. And remember as you shift, that your fingering changes. That's 1, 3, 4. Okay, you get to the top of the scale, and there you have it, Dorian. That's A Dorian. Now remember, it's a movable scale. Played on any fret, but the name changes. So I just played D5. So we're going to...